Name, please, and your address.
Yes, my name is Nirmal Narendra Andrews. And well, you are standing in front of my block.
And the
I
flat number?
stay in apartment number 401,
Right.
block 49.
Great, Uncle. So, Uncle, as I'm aware, you've served as the president of our society twice. So, what was your highest point during the tenure?
Well, that's very interesting because I don't know how much time you have at your disposal, but I'd just like to say a few lines about Heritage City. It is a place which is very well known, but not everybody knows the ups and downs that it has gone through. It's one of the older societies of Gurgaon, and the builder is, of course, as you know, Unitech, which is not active now. But in the old days, this was one of their first projects, and they had given it a very heritage kind of an architecture, which was very attractive to many of us who didn't see this either in Gurgaon or Delhi, and so we opted for it. But having said that, I now get to your question almost straight and say that while all of us felt very happy to be here in this beautiful campus, we all felt that there were lots of requirements, very essential ones, which the builder had not attended to. Or maybe because of the cost factor, they had gone in for certain things which were really not fulfilling. The, they were inadequate, they were not fulfilling the requirements, and one of them, very, very starkly, was power backup. Now, many of the societies on MG Road, and I can think of two, Beverly Society 1 and 2, had backup. And at the time that I bought my flat, which was long ago, sometime in 2005, there was quite a lot of disparity in the price. And while we had so many other good features, I think the disparity was caused largely on account of the uh, lack of power backup. A lot of people took some actions, and late Admiral Chopra was the first person who tried to address this issue and provided 10 to 15 points, electric points, to each block, each flat. And that, again, as Yogesh just pointed out, was quite inadequate looking to the climatic conditions of North India. So, quite a few years, I would say, was spent deliberating over this issue because the costs were very high. And at that time, I took over as the president, and one of the main issues which I had in mind, and the reason perhaps that I actually went for that post, was that I wanted to provide uh, complete power backup to our residents. But it was not easy because this issue had been debated many times over. And while we were addressing this issue again, many months were spent, and there were a lot of dissenting opinions. And nevertheless, Atul Batra, who was my secretary, and all the board members, including Mr. Yogesh Banga, and many others, we had made up our mind that we are going to convince people through the GBMs and in writing and get the cheapest cost possible and yet provide this facility. And that, I would say, was the high point of my first presidentship here. And we did it without actually allowing this dissent from a number of people to become overbearing. Now, the second thing which I would also like to point out, possibly arising from a development of Gurgaon, and something which we all looked forward to, was the issue arising out of the DMRC, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. When we heard that they were actually aligning the rail through the MG Road, we were all very happy because this is directly facing onto the MG Road. But maybe a year and a half later, when we actually came to the maps, to the alignment, and discussed this matter with the engineers who were working on this locally, and they had their small little office close to us here, Heritage, we realized that a big problem was going to face us. And that was that they were actually making the station in such a way that the alighting point was going to be almost in front of our in gate, and the rest of the things like the staircase coming down, etc., was going to be between the gate 1 and gate 2, which would have taken away almost everything from this society, because it would have caused a lot of problems to us in the sense of traffic. It would have also caused us problems of aesthetics. So that was one thing that I addressed in a big way in my second stint as president. And it was just fortunate for me that the head of the MRC, Dr. Sridharan, was known to me because of my work that I was doing for environment and certain clearances which were given by my committee. And I must say that the people who accompanied me, many of them are still around, some of them are not around. Uh, we, we were very happy that the meeting that was set up for us with Dr. Sridharan was excellent. And he said, I realize your problem and I will do something to sort it out. I want a letter from you today and in the afternoon, no later. But let me also sound you that there would be a cost factor of 28 lakhs involved, because we will keep the building where it is, but only, we have to take the staircase into a longer spin and bring it down a little ahead between the two between the two malls. And that is going to cost us money, and I have no budget for that. So would you be able to get it from somewhere? I know yours is a society, you will not be able to manage that. But if I may give you a suggestion, you may do this going to the state government. Now, he gave me very little time for it, and I again was very fortunate. We were all very fortunate that there were some people in the state government at the bureaucratic level and one or two people here in Gurgaon who helped us a lot, and we were able to assure Dr. Sridharan after sending this letter that we will be able to get this sanction. And therefore we got the letter totally amending the alignment, and we saved our gate from all that problem.
That was a big thing you did for us.
Well,
Nice.
that's,
It was huge.
I'm not too sure, but yes, it does help a lot, because our society is placed in such a way that we don't have more than those two gates, you see. We tried to have another gate, but we got into problems with the DLF. So as your gate says, yes, it has helped us. Otherwise, we would have had to maneuver our cars very differently. And the little problem that we are facing now between the malls, when we actually use the exit gate and go out, that would have been a problem which would have been widespread right in
Yes.
front of the two gates, and it would have taken away a lot from our societies.
Right, Ankit.
Not
Future.
to forget that cut you got back.
Well, I can mention that if you have the time for
Yes,
it.
Yeah,
yes,
please.
please.
But before that, I would like to say that our society has, uh, started on a very modest note, and with those modest beginnings, it is the residents themselves who have done a lot of work. If I mention my own achievements, actually it's not fair, because every president, including Yogesh, including Atul Batra, and many others, they have done a lot of work for this society in small and big ways. You see this road right here, and if you would please put the camera onto this road, uh, gentlemen.
वो
If
कैमरा रोड पे डालो.
if you put it that side, now there was no road worth the name over here. And I'm very happy to say that there were people who stood and supervised this work almost on a day and evening and basis, turn by turn, while this road was being made, and this road was made almost 15 years ago. And you will be happy to know that unlike PWD roads, this road is still functional. It has seen so many rainy seasons, it's seen so many cars rolling over it, but no, it's still holding firm. Now, this is a job which has been done by many others, but I can mention the name of Major Bhatia. He has really done a lot for this particular project. There are others who have done the lighting, and Yogesh is one of them. So I would say that we have all put our own efforts together and brought the society to such a pass that today the same Beverly 1 and Beverly 2 and Heritage City, they command the same price in the resale market. There was a lot of disparity when I bought this flat. Uh, well, I've been asked by Yogesh to tell you something about the U-turn on the MG Road, and that is where all my resources were not bringing about much result, I would say. So I had to really persist because the police department felt that there was no need for that U-turn. And what the residents of this society had to do was, coming from Delhi side, from let us say the Sikandarpur side, they had to go all the way to Ifko Chowk and confront all the traffic mess and everything, wait there for a long time, then take the U-turn over there and come here. Until then, I told the head of the police department and the traffic in Gurgaon, I don't want to name anybody, I told him, I said, you do me a favor. Just come down here. I'm not going to call any resident here. You will find me standing alone. And I will discuss this matter with you, tell you the pros and the cons, and then you decide. And I tell you, I will bring no pressure on you from anywhere, neither administrative nor political, but I will leave it to you. And I spent a good 1 hour or 45 minutes with him, discussing things with him, and explaining to him that we really require this. And there